Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Stephanie. This is the week 30 weekly wrap up for July the 21st through the 27th. Oh my goodness, I got a lot of books to talk about, you guys. So I participated in 3 different reading challenges / readathons over this last week. They overlapped into each other, so it started off the week by one day for 24 and 48, and wow, I did really good with that. If you guys have not checked out that video for 24 and 48, the wrap-up vlog, please do check that out over here. Yep, up there. And down in the description box. And I also participated in tropeathon and the reading rush. Slightly, not really. I found myself reading a whole bunch of books that I just wanted to read this month, this week. Oh my god. And I was just on a roll to binge shorter books, and so I have 14 books to talk about. So this video is going to be a challenge already. I don't want to make it super long. So what I'm going to try and do is give 30-second reviews. So I'm sorry if I don't describe them as I usually do with long, lengthy thoughts and feelings about the books, but I got 14 books to get through and so much. I will be doing a tropeathon and reading rush wrap up for Tuesday. So if you want to hear more about the books that I read for those and which categories they fall in, wait until Tuesday or come back on Tuesday. I love it when you guys come back and watch my videos. Come back on Tuesday to check out more in-depth thoughts. So if there's a book that I happen to mention I read for possibly tropeathon and reading rush, and you look in the description box and you see where the timestamp is and you want to know more about it, make sure you come back on Tuesday to get the wrap up. I'll probably talk more in depth about that. So let's just get into these 14 books because, yep, I've already wasted 3 minutes rambling. So the first book that I finished last week was Younger by Pamela Redmond Satran. I placed this in women's fiction. I give it 4.5 stars. I give it 1 Steam fan. I read it for 24 and 48. I listened to it as an audiobook, and I listened to it for my Read Bliss project as well as a TV adaptation. So I kind of got to jump on the Reading Rush challenge. I believe that's what it was. For this one, this book follows Alice, who is an over 40-year-old dealing with getting back into the world of work and jobs and life and things like that after starting a family, having a family, getting divorced, and getting back into what she wants and what she loves. When she is told that she looks like she's younger, she pretty much just goes with the flow, and you get to see all the actions and consequences that come along with that of having a young face. I get that a lot. And I thought it was a really good book. I thought it was very relatable, and that's why I really enjoyed it. The next book that I finished was I Bet You, which is the hookup number 2 by Ilsa Madden-Mills. I placed this in new adult. I give it 4 stars. I give it 4 Steam fans. I listened to it as an audiobook. I listened to it for 24 and 48 hours and romance genre-a-thon, which is sports. It's a sports romance, and it starts out as if it's a bodice ripper, and I loved every moment of that. I really, really enjoyed it. Penelope is an aspiring writer. She is writing notes in her notebook about footballer Riker, and he is ripping off her corset and all kinds. It was so hot and steamy right out the box, and then you find out later on that they're sort of friends to enemies or enemies to lovers, and she has her eye on somebody else, but he sort of has his eye on her, and it's so much fun. So much fun. Loved it. Angsty, sweet, fun, sexy. Yes, all of that. The next book that I finished was Voyeur by Fiona. I placed this in erotic contemporary. I give it 4.25 stars. I give it 5 Steam fans. I listened to it as an audiobook. I read it for 24 and 48. And Romanceopoly for the Erotic Eves. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Space. This book follows Oakland and Callum, and it's a student-teacher age gap sort of story where Oakland needs money and she does what she has to do to make sure that she has tuition. She has some family issues. Callum has some personal issues, and they end up meeting each other on a happenstance basis because she is in his class in college. They are of age and they are adults and they are able to determine how they want to go about their lives on their own as adults, but there is an age gap. There's a voyeurism kink to this story, and I was totally here for it. Loved every minute of it and can't wait to get to more Fiona Cole. The next book that I finished was Sirloin of Beef by Vanessa Vale. This is book number 1 in her Grade A Beefcakes series, and it is an erotic menage. I give it 3.5 stars. I give it 4 Steam fans. I listened to it as an audiobook, and I listened to it for 24 and 48. This book follows Caitlin, Jed, and Landon. They have to deal with a stalker. Well, Caitlin does. And the two guys are friends, and they live in a town where it's very acceptable to have a polyamorous relationship, and they have grown up with it. They knew that they wanted this going into it, and I was here for it. The next book that I finished was T-Bone, which is a Grade A Beefcakes book number 2 by Vanessa Vale. It is also an erotic menage. I give it 3.5 stars. I give it 3 Steam fans. I listened to it as an audiobook for 24 and 48 hours. This book follows Ava, Tucker, and Colton, and this one has an air of bad family ties where Ava has some issues with her family. Once again, Tucker and Colton are the 2 guys that she wants to hook up with and or be with. They want to share a wife, and we go from there. Short, quick, fun, sexy, yes. Next book that I finished was Tri-Tip, which is Grade A Beefcakes number 3 by Vanessa Vale, and this is also an erotic menage. And this book I give 3.5 stars. I give it 3 Steam fans. I listened to it as an audiobook, and I read it for the reading rush for read a book in one place, and I did that. It's a short book, so it was really quick to consume. I just sat on my chair, and this book follows Parker, Gus, Kemp, and Poe, and as you can see, there are 3 guys to 1 female, so it was fun. It was high school sweethearts. One of the guys and Parker was together when they were in high school, and then they went off their separate ways because they thought it would be better. Once they come back together, they find out that they still sort of love each other and they still have feelings for each other, but they want to share as well. She has a need to be with more than one man, and they have a need to share a wife. So we have that. Second chances. Loved it. Short, quick, fun, sexy. The next book that I finished was Porterhouse, and this is Grade A Beefcakes book number 4 by Vanessa Vale. This is also an erotic menage. I give it 3.5 stars. I give it 3 Steam fans. I listened to it as an audiobook, and I did not write down who the characters were in this one, but this one deals with horrible family members and having that sort of black sheep brother or sister that is doing wrong and drags you into the same situation, or dragged our main characters into a situation where they had to sort of figure out where they were going from there. The next book that I finished was The Secret Baby by Leddy Harper. I placed this in New Adult. I give it 4.5 stars. I give it 4 Steam fans. I read this as an ARC. I also read it for tropeathon for the topic or category of blue on the cover. This book follows Kelsey and Aaron. Now, I did read a book that is connected to this before, so I was a little, not really thrown out, but trying to figure out where these two characters fell into that story as well. Once I found that connection, it went so much smoother, and I loved every single minute of it. It is one of those tropes that a lot of people don't like, where there is a secret baby. Hello, title, secret baby. But I loved how it was all put together. I loved that it wasn't really a secret baby. It was a sort of trying to figure out who the father was. And some people knowing and some people not knowing, and I just really loved it. Kelsey is the maid of honor for one of the characters. Aaron is the best man of one of the characters, and they don't know this when they have their first night together. They were strangers. They didn't exchange any names, anything like that. It was just so much fun. I loved it, and I loved all the emotional connection that came with it. The next book that I finished was Cruel Legacy, which is Cruel number 3 by K.A. Linde. I place this in New Adult. I give it 4 stars. I give it 4 Steam fans. I listened to it as an audiobook. This is the continuation and conclusion of Penn and Natalie's story. If you have watched any of my other reviews for the other 2 books, 3 books, because there's 2 books, 2 full novels, and a novella precede this story, you will know that this is Gossip Girl meets revenge. There's another TV show. Cruel Intentions, all kinds of craziness. All leads to this book, and in this book is mostly about revenge and dealing with the repercussions of what has already became and what came before, and how Penn and Natalie needed to deal with it. Next book that I finished was Royal Gentleman by Christy Pastore. I place this in contemporary. I give it 5 stars. I give it 4 Steam fans. I read this as an ebook, and I read it for Reading Rush for purple on the cover. And this book follows Karis and Nicholas, who were sort of, I want to say best friends, but maybe not best friends. But Nicholas is royalty, and Karis grew up in the palace and had a knowledge of it, but then the royal family is ousted and they all go their own ways. Nicholas goes and does what he does. Karis goes and does what she does. She is a photojournalist and is into fashion and food and just taking pictures that are beautiful. And when the situation changes for the royal family, Nicholas has to go back to his country. He sort of searches out Karis and wants her to come and document their re-rise to fame, to power and royalty. And there's a mystery, there's a thriller to it. I really enjoyed it. We had been begging Christy to give us a royalty book, and I loved every minute of it. Make sure you check out the author's notes when you do read this, because they are so insightful and fun, and I loved every single minute of it. The next book that I finished was Mixology, a Cougar novella by Mila Hart, and I placed this in rom-com? Yeah, I'm going with rom-com. And I give it 4 stars. I give it 5 Steam fans. I read it as an arc. This book is either releasing shortly or has released just recently. I read this also. I'm giving it to my Read Bliss project. This book follows Bronwyn, who is a over 35 woman who is very particular in her appearance and gives off this sort of cold vibe. But then Kane sees her and has been watching her for a while. He is a bartender mixologist, and he finds out that she is on Snapchat. This is a social media sort of story, and I was so here for it. It was so much fun, and it was so sexy. So stinking sexy. I mean, I loved it. I loved it, I loved it, I loved it. The next book that I finished was Watch Me by Dukey and K. Webster. This is an erotica. I give it 4 stars. I give it 5 Steam fans. I read it as an arc. It does release here shortly, either today or this week, I believe. And this book follows Luca and Breezy. Luca is an artist that fell off and tried to take care of his sister prior to, and now he is sort of gotten his life back because his sister's all grown up and she's doing her own thing. So he goes back to the place where he felt he left his life, which was in Boston, and he finds that he can't satisfy himself because there is someone in his past that he really misses, and he is only able to watch. So this has the kink of voyeurism, and I was here for it. Who is this a steamy, hot book? I mean, wowzer. Wowzer, wowzer, wowzer. And Breezy is a young lady that is just trying to make it, trying to do what she needs to do to get through life, and she actually is a erotic I don't know if I would say erotic dancer, but she performs in a club in which she does erotic dancing, but not on the pole, in private rooms and private shows. So she's sort of a peep show dancer, performer. Yeah. The next book that I finished was Smolder by Aly Martinez, and I place this in short story, romantic suspense. I give it 4 stars. I give it 3 Steam fans. I listened to it on the podcast of Read Me Romance, and this book follows Ivy and Mateo. Both of them, I don't remember them being in the Guardian series that Aly has. I have read both books that it is placed after, but I don't remember these 2 characters, but this follows them. It's short story. It's super short, by the way. But Mateo has been watching Ivy for a long time. She is under his protection. She has lusted after him, but at the same time, never really sort of, delve into what they could have because he's a criminal of sorts and he's just a bad guy. There is a kidnapping and bad guys and sort of obsession that goes along in this book. Yes, it's all packed in there in this small little story. And then the final book that I read last week was Rivals! Frenemies, Who Changed the World by Scott McCormick, and I place this in Kidlit. I give it 4 stars. I give it 0 Steam fans. It's not steamy, not at all. I listened to it as an audiobook, and I read this for Tropeathon for the recommended to me because it was an Audible original, so I get to choose every month 2 Audible originals with my subscription, and this was one of them, so I picked it up, so it was recommended to me. Also for Reading Rush, it was a 5-word titled book. So this is 4 different stories that were very big in history. One was about dinosaurs, one was about Mary Queen of Scots. Yeah, Mary Queen of Scots. Another was about the presidents, I think. It has something to do with the presidents. But it was fun. It was super fun. They had sound effects, and it was snarky, and it was really cute. I would definitely want my son to listen to it. It's a good, fun way to listen to a history lesson. So, woo, that was all 14 books. I actually got this done in under 20 minutes. I'm super excited about that. Let me know if there are any books that you guys want me to really elaborate on down in the comments section. Have you read any of the books that I talked about? I know it was quick, short, fast this week. I apologize, but at the same time, I got 14 books read, so can you blame me? I didn't want you guys to, sit through and be tortured by my, long, drawn out ramblings. So got that done. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, there is a feedback form down in the description box so you guys can help me improve my channel. Thank you for watching, and we will see you guys later. Hello? Are you still there? So I forgot to tell you guys what I'm currently reading. I am still reading The Affiliate by K.A. Linde, and I was reading this for Reading Rush or Tropeathon, but I haven't finished it. So yeah, but you guys might hear about it. I still have a day for both of those readathons, so yeah. Okay, see you guys later. Bye.